Hello and welcome to Chapter 226 of the DC Alliance podcast. With me, as always, is Joe. Joe, how you doing today? Or well, with me, it's been a little while. So how are you doing
Well,
today?
look, yeah, I mean, I've definitely had a few vacations. I've had a few family things.
I had Canada Day weekend in there
We got
too, so
Canada Day,
we're
yes,
both.
yeah. It's been a minute since I've been back. Hi, everybody. Hi. No, I'm doing pretty good. We were talking before about how work sucks, but that's just
Yeah.
normal. Also earlier in the chat, I had mentioned something about myself. I'm torturing myself because I am reading DC Comics again, finally, which is fine. But I'm starting back at Crisis on Infinite Earths and going
Ooh.
forward. So I'm trying to read basically all of the modern DC events, series, all of it. Working my way forward. It's a task. I'm currently on Legends, so like I'm not too far out, but
Okay.
um, which I'm actually interestingly enough, reading Legends and all the tie-ins to Legends, found a lot of interesting things that is still happening to this day. Really weird. Not gonna,
It's like
not
crazy
gonna.
how the cycles
I
happen like that.
know what it's just crazy. I'm just talking about it in real life. It's crazy. But no, I'm doing. I'm sure that's gonna make me go mental at some point in time. But like I've done it. So I've done it before. I've done it to where I've read Crisis to New 52 like before, and it was just in trades from what I could find at the library. This is long before DC Infinite.
Oh my god.
Um,
So well, at least it's a lot at your fingertips now rather
yeah,
than
yes, and I actually have like all the tie-ins and all the issues of all the series. Um, but yeah, so yeah, we'll see what happens. But how you been? I know it's been a few weeks since I've talked to you.
Yeah, I held down the fort last week. So many pictures of Superman came out that I just felt like I wanted to jump
You had
on
to do
and talk
something.
about that. And yeah, you were sorely missed because it is not as fun doing a solo. You and I do them for our own individual
Yes,
podcasts at times,
how I get an hour out of mine
but
is weird, but
we do prefer to have somebody else there to bounce stuff off. And I look a couple times I paused to throw Joe and
to
you
wait for
weren't
me.
there. I'm like, yeah.
Sorry.
But no, it was okay. There was a good amount of chat, so that was fun.
Good.
Work wise, work was okay. I had a 83-year-old woman tell me to burn in hell. So
Must have been American.
no, 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 no,
Really?
no, no, no,
Wow.
no, no, no. The people that tell me, I will say, okay, I deal with people from America, and I haven't dealt with the rude person there yet.
What?
Yep.
That's very
And
surprising.
it's not just one place. It's like New Jersey,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Florida, California, bam,
All
bam,
over.
bam, like all over. And
Hmm.
I have been impressed. Yes, yes. So uh, seems that with the whole free healthcare, if it's not free and you're from here, oh, and that's like you and I talked about how much it actually has to spend. So yeah,
Oh, we
it's
might get into some free healthcare stuff later on at the end of the show, but I just got some thoughts on stuff like that.
so yeah, but my adventure with Superman has been slow. It's a slow news week this week, listeners. Obviously, with STCC next
Next
week.
week, yeah.
So I was talking to Joe before we started. We're going to be reviewing some of Batman Cape Crusaders in 2 weeks. So just around the corner, I watched Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 3.
I'm
I'm
working
gonna
on it.
There's gonna be a review for Animation Nation. Be on the lookout for that. But myself and Joe will talk about it here when Joe finishes the movie. I will just say that my most enjoyable part was the
The end.
last part of the film, and it wasn't because. And I will say no, because people will think that it's not because the film ended either. I think the way they ended it was great, but
Okay.
that's all I'll say. So
Okay.
yeah, be on the lookout for that. So Joe, before we talk about my adventures with Superman, we have the season 2 finale coming out tonight and on HBO Max tomorrow. Uh, I'm going to get no.
Saturday, Sunday. Sorry, but
I
yeah.
saw the thing that was coming out, or maybe Toonami tonight or something. I said season finale at midnight tonight. I
Hmm.
saw the thing when I
I
was
thought
watching the preview.
I always
So
thought they came out Saturday night.
I I think one of them it comes on cable at midnight, and then the next day it
Okay.
comes on
Okay.
HBO Max. But I'm not sure which way it
I
goes.
don't
But yeah,
watch it. I don't literally don't
yeah.
watch it until like the day before we record.
Same,
So
same. I watched it yesterday. So yeah,
yeah,
same thing.
I watched it today. I think.
So yeah, but I saw it on the promo. So yeah, before we get into all that, let me get the network plugs out of the way right quick. We are part of the Geek Ultimate Alliance with 7 shows in total. On Mondays, bi-weekly is Ranger Alliance, and Tuesdays is a walk through the multiverse where Joe is wrapping up The Boys Season 4. I will be very curious to hear what you have to say about what you think is going to happen in Season 5, because they potentially set up another possibility for me with how a certain character might meet his end. So I'm very interested to hear you talk about that. That's as vague as I can keep it for anyone who hasn't watched it, but I'm excited. So check out a walk through the multiverse this coming week, where Joe talks about the season finale of The Boys.
Yeah, maybe I'll remember to actually tweet it out this time.
It happens. Happened for me this week too. It happens sometimes. So on Wednesdays is my show, The Animation Nation. Like I said, we're going to be doing the Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 3 coming soon, so be on the lookout for that. And Thursdays is Star Wars Alliance, where they just wrapped up The Acolyte. And Fridays is Marvel Alliance. On Saturdays is DC Alliance. And Sundays monthly is World's Finest True Believers. Star Wars Alliance goes live on the Geekverse YouTube channel Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Marvel Alliance goes live Thursdays at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, and DC Alliance goes live Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. All three of those shows also their own podcast feeds. Search DC Alliance, Marvel Alliance, and Star Wars Alliance if you just want DC content, Star Wars content, or Marvel content only. But if you want all 7 shows on the GUA Podcast Network, say subscribe to the GUA on your podcast app of choice. We also have a Patreon, 2 tiers, a $1 tier and a $5 tier. The $1 tier is basically a tip jar, like what we're doing. You want to help us out any way you can. And the $5 tier is where you get your extras. You get your ad-free episodes, early access episodes, and Patreon exclusive episodes. Myself and Joe are going through all the DC films through the years, so stick with us. We've had over 24 entries of DC films. So Superman Returns is next. We have the Marvel Alliance guys, Chris and Brent, doing their Tales from the House of X, leading up to the Deadpool Wolverine film. They have done Deadpool 1, Deadpool 2, and Logan. I think the Wolverine was there as well, or coming.
I think it was the Wolverine and then Logan.
Then Logan. Sorry, I must have switched.
I think they just did Logan.
Yeah,
if I remember correctly.
So we also have their Infinity Saga rewatch all up there as well. And we have Joe's Multiverse Minutes, where Joe's doing Disney deep dives right now, where he's taking a look at a Disney film, not just reviewing it, but also telling you some behind the scenes fun facts. What's up next for that, Joe?
What just came out was Make Music Mine.
Mm-hmm.
And as I said at the end of that, the next one technically is Song of the South. If I can find it, I'll cover it. If not, we'll be jumping to Fun and Fancy Free.
And I'm sure the backstory about that would be great as well. We thank everyone that's a patron, but if you're not a patron, you take a quick 30 to 60 seconds, rate and review the podcast on your podcast app of choices. I always greatly appreciate it. It helps other people find the shows, and that's always a good thing. One last thing, programming note, we will be going live next week, Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Or 9.
7:30.
7:30 to 8. Between 7 and 8. Joe's watching.
I'm going to go see Deadpool and Wolverine right after work. I think it's at 4 or 4:30 is my showing. And I should be home around 7 o'clock, give or take. Yeah. So 7, I say 7:30.
Between 7 and 8, it depends. Like I said, Joe's going to watch it. We're doing this because Marvel Alliance has a movie review. They'll be doing Friday night. They'll be switching times with us. I still think they're going to go at 9, 10 p.m. Eastern time. They may go a little earlier. I'm not 100% sure on that.
We'll see. I think it all depends on when those two are able to see it.
Well, okay, they're both seeing it on Thursday for sure, but I'd say they're both.
But they also like to try and get a second one. Yeah.
So yeah, DC Alliance and Marvel Alliance next week are switching when they go live, and we will drop our podcasts in the podcast feeds on Friday instead of Saturday next week. And then obviously the week after that, we'll be back and we'll be talking about Batman Caped Crusaders. So thank you, listeners, for keeping up with the change. Joe, that's all the programming notes. We have a penultimate episode to discuss and a season finale to preview.
Yes. Which is preview is literally just like a scene, 30-second scene.
Yes, but we can talk about what we potentially think could happen. So, yeah, Pierce the Heavens Superman is the episode. Just off the cuff, because I haven't talked to you about the previous couple episodes. What do you think about how we got this way?
Basically the show so far.
The main 3 episodes.
I'm enjoying it. Seeing the last couple. So these last 3 episodes, which is basically Superman meeting Brainiac, Brainiac taking over Superman, and then Lois helping Superman get released from Brainiac, which is the last one. I'm enjoying. Like, I mean, we've both been enjoying the show since the beginning. Seeing all of this playing out has been awesome. I like Supergirl. I like her character. I like that she recognized that she was being used, and is doing the right thing. Going up against Brainiac, even though Brainiac basically raised her, but she knows it's the
she
right
even
thing to do.
accidentally says father after Clark
all the
comes
time.
back too. So
Yeah. But this has been really, really cool. Like it's I think the first episode that would have been was the Jimmy and Lois breaking in Star Labs with Gorilla Grodd. Nope. Mishra
no, it
Mala
would
and
be.
Brain.
I thought the Machine, who would be Empire, was the first one we missed together. I think we missed 6, 7, and 8, right?
No, because we talked about
Uh,
whatever. Either way.
no, you are right. You are right. We talked
Okay.
about that one. So yeah, the 30th.
So yeah, like seeing Jimmy and Lois break into Star Labs, that was a fun episode. A lot of goof 'em ups. Really enjoyed it. Then the next episode with them breaking into Brainiac's ship, trying to get to Superman, was good. Superman obviously not giving in to Brainiac and fighting, a Thanagarian, a Green Lantern, and I can't remember the third guy. Yes, thank you, a Parademon. I mean, yes, they were the robots, holograms, but like seeing all those there and playing out and fighting was really awesome, really cool. And then obviously Supergirl realizing what was going on and how Brainiac was using her was really cool too.
What do you think about the Black Mercy? The way they did it.
I enjoyed that.
Yes,
like it's different. It's really different. It's not a plant just on the chest.
It's basically everything that's been different about this entire show. It's like more anime style than it is.
Yes.
Your standard like
cartoon
organism, Western cartoon. Yeah.
But no, like this has been a blast since it started, and I'm here for the ride. Like I've been enjoying every single episode. This one is no exception. Seeing Brainiac show up, Superman Brainiac or Super Brainiac, whatever you want to call him, coming in there looked cool. I will say he looked like pretty wicked in the black outfit and all that. And then taking over Lex's robots. It's like,
we knew that was going to happen. We knew that was going to happen for sure.
Well, especially since majority of his robots were based off the Kryptonians' technology and design. Yes, so having that happen was just like, oh, duh. And then when they were going after Superman and Super Brainiac and Superman Lois, like Lois figures out exactly what's going on, and then basically like loops it and always is talking to Clark.
I love that. Yep. That's best part of this episode for me is the time loop. I don't like those stories most of the time, but my God, did I enjoy it here?
Where and it also it shows the compassion that Clark has, even though he is supposed to be Kryptonian, because you see him right at the very beginning trying to feed a Sun Eater.
Yeah,
and it's like Laura comes up, is like, "What are you doing? That's a mongrel. Stop that." It's like, no, he's like a passionate. Guy.
He even mentions he's the last of his kind. Maybe we can communicate with it. We can learn more.
Yeah.
So, and Lois even mentions that when she says Lois Lane. That's the other thing I do love, that
it clicks.
How many times she's trying to get it clicks with her immediately when she sees him, and she remembers. But when she initially gets there, she forgets who she is.
Wasn't that when he saw him? It was when she. When was it? Was it?
I think he says something to her that like immediately she remembers.
Yeah, because when he does see her, he brings her cake, and then they talk, and I can't remember exactly. Yeah, something happens. He says something, or he touches her hand. I think he touches her hand.
That's exactly what happens.
And then it comes back.
Yes, but it takes a lot longer for Clark, and I do enjoy this, and this is plausible because you even like I appreciate this. Like this is all you need for me to be like, okay, this is believable in the constructs of this world that you've
Mm-hmm.
created with these 2 seasons. Is have Jarrell to say to Laurel like the program, but this wasn't made for two minds at the same time. And now, okay, yes, I can understand why they can't get the jump on Lois. It makes perfect sense. Everything
Yeah,
about like the progression of that makes sense in the Black Mercy because you say that. That's all you need. We're not asking for give me an explanation of everything of how it all works in the Black Mercy. All I need to do is say something like that, and bam, we can
yeah,
go on from there. That's all we need. Whereas if it
yeah.
didn't, you'd be like, how did she do this stuff? Like, how come they didn't erase her? But no, where they say this
What?
hasn't been developed for 2 months, bam.
And then even toward the end of the middle end of the episode, when she stops uh, Jor-El
Yeah.
Brainiac from punching Clark, and she like literally stops it and then punches him, and he goes flying, and she's like, "Well, how did I do that?" And Clark's response was, "Well, we're in my mind, and here you're a superhero."
He's like, you're the strongest person I know.
Yeah, like,
And
well, bam, look at that, like it's perfect,
and
it's
again,
great.
they don't drag out all this unnecessary drama. Like they immediately are like, "Yep, okay." She's like, "Yep, okay. I love you. I'm sorry. Like, love it. You got to be courageous. You can't be like pushing people away."
Yep,
Bam, I'm all in. And he's like, "Yeah, I love you." It's
let's do
just
this.
let's do this and go forward now. We don't have to go back to that at all. We can just go forward.
What
Uh,
did you think of his new suit? Because that so at the very end he gets Brainiac obviously leaves him and he comes back to being Superman, but his suit is new
mhm.
and it looks a little different. What do you think of that?
I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a little similar to the one we've gotten for uh, I got
Super
more
Brainiac.
vibes. No, of Superman 2025 than
Oh,
then your standard traditional
okay,
Superman. Like
yeah.
you remember this like traditional F that we've gotten most of the time. Like I'm thinking DCAU, but even the other ones is some variation of that S. This is a different, completely
Well,
different font style for it that
it's
I enjoy.
no different. I mean, it's a little bit different than what we see on our background here for
Yeah,
that S. But I mean,
yeah,
it's still very similar.
yeah.
Which
It
that
is.
S is very similar to what 2025 will be.
And I do know that again. I do think James Gunn knows about this show and is okay with this show existing. Uh,
I don't know. 3 Superman shows existing at once. Oof.
well, that's not gonna. There's gonna be two,
Oh, my
and
bad.
there's only apparently there's only
And
one of them doesn't even have Superman anymore.
true.
But no, this season finale was penultimate episode was
Hmm.
really enjoyable, Joe. I did like how Kara stood up like and allowed the whole shot. Actually, before we talk any more about this, let's take our first and maybe only ad break of the evening. Listeners, we're an ad support network. We don't pick the ad to the volume. I'm going to give you a quick 3 count to adjust your volume, and we'll be right back in 3, 2, 1. And we're back. Okay, Joe. Like I said, there's a little bit more to unpack. Waller got Lex to create those robots, like you said, but they're powered now by kryptonite cores,
Yep.
kryptonite power cells, I guess.
Well,
And
it's they're Metallos, and Metallo in the comics is powered
yeah,
by a kryptonite heart. But the fact that there are
hundreds,
dozens, hundreds of Metallos is
dozens is a better term. Yeah,
yeah.
hundreds, not yeah,
I mean,
dozens.
hundreds is a lot, but
Yeah,
it's maybe like 30, if
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, like that's interesting. How they get that much kryptonite? But the fact that there's 30 Metallos is kind of scary all on its own.
And while Lois and Clark are still in the Black Mercy, Kara takes it upon herself to stand up for Earth and
Mm-hmm.
fight for Earth after a little pep talk from Jimmy, which I do enjoy. I enjoy the relationship. I like that actually.
Yeah, it's real
So
cute.
uh
Well, not
and
only Jimmy, also from Steve
yeah, Steve.
Lombard,
Oh, we
because
forgot
he's
that. We got to mention that because Waller captures him right away,
yep,
and the Daily Planet steps in to save them because
which is smart because Jimmy was live streaming when
live
he got
streaming.
home,
Yes,
and they arrest him immediately. And Perry and Vicky Vale are like, "Yeah, you're an idiot. Like you arrested one of my journalists, and that's
while he was live streaming, you can't
you're
do that.
you're stopping the free press. That's illegal."
Yeah, and yeah, I get. That was just a ploy. Steve gets him out of there, and
So
I
good.
it just it just works for the concept of this show. I really enjoyed it, and like I said. Kara steps up for Earth.
Mhm.
She fights Brainiac Superman for a bit, but then she takes one of the shots from the beams that he has in the ship that's going to destroy the whole planet. And
Yeah.
I love that. It's just, again, after everything that happened on all those other planets, it just plays so well.
Yeah, nothing in this show, in this season, is not relevant. Everything
Nope.
that's happened is for a reason. And like you said with Kara, like the other planets she destroyed because Brainiac told her to. Now she's at a point where she doesn't think she can go up against Brainiac, but Jimmy and Steve are like, no, if you want to do that, you can do that.
Yeah.
That's what you want to do. Go do that. And she does. She makes her own decision, and she, decides to save this planet.
There you go.
Hold on, Vicky.
Yeah, and again, I love when Superman comes back. You get the giant reveal, and it's nice because he was like demonized the last time he was there on Earth.
Yeah.
At the conference, so it's nice to see that. But again, you have so much kryptonite here. He stops the laser, but then Brainiac takes control of all of the Metallos, and he uses the kryptonite. He has kryptonite shielding.
Yeah.
So he puts that on and puts it on the robots, and bam, he takes control.
Which was very interesting because it definitely looked like Clark or Superman. It looked like he had put on some sort of shielding, but then it actually did affect him. So like maybe it was just, I don't know, something else.
You bring it back to what I think is going to happen next episode, which is somehow the whole turning blue thing is going to come into play. I don't know if that's going to be his shielding from kryptonite, but that ability is going to come into play finally. We saw it when they were breaking out of the Black Mercy. He was turning blue at the end for the punch through, and he's done it multiple times throughout the first 2 seasons. And, and most of the time it indicates a new power.
Yes.
But I do think he's going to use it here. I think that's what's going to be the reason.
As much as I don't say you're wrong on that one, but I definitely think that I don't think that's going to happen because him having kryptonite as his weakness is a major thing.
Mm-hmm.
So if he is able to shield against that, that kind of makes kryptonite moot. And I don't think that's ever going to be a thing.
I think he could just use up that ability and not be able to access it
that's
anymore.
That's a possibility. In the comics, there was a moment during, was it John and Romita, where he was doing his solar flares, which was kind of bad. But he had basically used up his power. He just he did his heat vision or solar vision, if you want to call it, so much that it exploded out. But then he was a human for 24 hours. Like he lost his abilities for 24 hours.
They did something a little similar on Supergirl where she lost all her power. Like she passed out when she did the solar flare against Red Tornado.
Yeah, she did the solar flares on that, didn't she?
Yes.
Forgot about that.
Iggy, I think you've been into the show notes because there is
he's always in the show notes
article that we have that we'll discuss in the news that has to talk about that. He's referring to cost-cutting projects for WBD. Shocked, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. We're set up for a pretty good season finale. I'll be looking forward to discussing that with you, Joe, next week on the newest episode.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. My thoughts are obviously they're gonna stop Brainiac and Supergirl. It's going to change the perception of Superman on Earth, and it's gonna make Waller and Lex Luthor, probably even Slade, with egg on their face.
And Zod will be set up for the next villain.
Maybe.
I do. There's going to be another. Obviously, we'll get your regular run-of-the-mill villains, but I do.
Well, sure, but the
Zod
overall
will be set up.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, for the preview, it's just Brainiac saying, like, "You rejected me. I'm going to destroy you all."
Yep.
That's essentially what that promo was. I had to watch it just before I came out here, and yeah, it was.
It's
a whole lot of nothing. But I'm glad too, though.
From the show, yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad though. I don't want any more. Like 30 seconds when you only have 22 minutes in the episode. Like, don't give me a 2.5-minute preview.
Exactly, because that's
I don't
like
need
a quarter
to see
of the
full scene. Like, I don't need to see a full scene.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like a tenth of the episode. Yeah. So okay, we will go on to the news here, Joe. And we have a teaser that dropped. See, boo on the CW Superman account because they tweeted out the day before trailer tomorrow,
Yeah, and
and
then they dropped
they
a
did
teaser
the whole
instead.
thing where it was just a teaser, and all it is well, Doomsday flying Superman away, a rock exploding, and then Superman's cape blowing in the wind. And Lex Luthor saying, like, can we just enjoy this? So myself and
Oh,
Joe will talk about. We may even. I'll talk to you. Maybe we'll do a special episode for Cape Crusader because I feel like we're going to have a whole lot of news to talk about uh,
in 2 weeks.
in 2 weeks. Well,
Maybe we'll
post
see.
SDCC, we'll see.
We'll see.
Uh, so yeah, I'm excited for that show, Joe. I'm sure you are too. We're going to wrap it up.
I know all 6
They
episodes. It's
know
gonna be great.
they know they're wrapping it up. That's the main thing.
Yes.
If Superman's dying and there's only 6 episodes, oh sweet baby Jesus, that is a choice. That is a choice if that's the case. Because yeah, sidelining suit for the last season.
Well, that just it raises up.
John.
No, it wasn't John. It was the other one.
No.
That's how long it's been since I've seen the show. I don't remember kids' names.
Jordan.
There we go.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, Jordan. Okay. So we got a new poster for Batman Cape Crusader, and it is freaking awesome.
Yeah, it looks kind of cool.
It's one of the better posters I've seen in a while. Not gonna lie. We have all the villains here. We have Penguin. We have, it looks like Harley Quinn there. I'm not
Two-Face,
sure. Two-Face. Yep. Onomatopoeia.
Clayface,
And
Catwoman. Yep.
So I'm really interested to how this is going to be. Like, it's only 10, 11 days away. So
yeah, we're very close. Actually, today's 19th. We're just under 2 weeks.
yeah. So I so excited for that, Joe. So excited. Fahim Fazil has been cast as the village leader. This, I have questions about this because this kind of there was a rumor that this was part of the plot before, and he said no, and now we're coming back around. That seems like it might be in the film. So I'm wondering if the Scoopers had that a little right prior.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it was part of the film, but they cut a lot of those scenes out, and they still have. I mean, not obviously all of it, but it still plays a part in the show, in the movie. So he's still in the movie for that part.
I do enjoy what he said on Instagram, which is being the first Afghan-born American actor in Hollywood in a Superman film is a milestone that has never happened before.
That's awesome.
So
that's really awesome.
Congrats. And I'm pretty sure he was, I want to say he was in Iron Man, helping Tony build the...
That's not the same guy, is it?
Maybe? I'm not sure. I thought it was. I thought I saw that. He was in the first Iron Man movie too. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, he's the one. He played the guy who kidnapped Tony and forced him to play. Yeah, okay. He played the terrorist leader that kidnaps Tony and makes him make Iron Man. I know.
Really?
Crazy. That's what it says here under that.
Oh, it is. Holy crap! Yeah.
Yeah, I can see
because the picture on the tweet and the picture I just brought up.
He's doing the eyebrow raise. And he looks just like the character when the character used to do the eyebrow raise in Iron Man. Because he did it a few times, that terrorist leader. He looks just like him. It's just he has hair. Think of him as bald. So, yeah, congrats. I hope it's a good performance. I hope it's a good part. I hope it's a good scene, couple scenes. This is something I was really excited to talk to you about, Joe. Not because I was happy about it, just because I found it interesting, and it seemed like it was swept under the rug a little bit. Which is the Bank of America's analysts saying Warner Brothers Discovery is not working and should explore strategic options. A team of Wall Street pros throw kindling on the speculative MA fire, suggesting that David Zaslav-led company should spin off its linear TV brands into a new company saddled with debt. So, yeah, again, this is not great.
What are they doing?
Essentially, they're trying to create an entertainment landscape where stuff from the cord cutting industry will go towards streaming. But they're in deep in a lot of TV cable companies, like parts of their like what they present. Like TNT is a major one player there, so I don't know how they're going to get out of that completely. And also the debt, the amended debt. That's the only reason I could see them going that way. But it's just is not good. It was a big like red flag for me. Your stock is at $7.80. So as someone who wants to see the DCU flourish,
this is definitely one of those things where, yeah, it could mean the end of the DCU. It could mean just the end of comic DC projects total. Like they'd have to move somewhere. But
I'm less convinced now that what you said, I want to say a year ago when we talked about this, but
I say a lot of things.
You said saying them piecing out Batman and Superman and like different things to Amazon in DC. I'm more worried of that happening now. Like I'm literally more worried about that. I don't think I'm a little scared now. I don't know if they're not smart enough to realize that they shouldn't do that. So
the problem is that they are at that point. I do remember saying that now. They are at that point because it's no different than what happened to Marvel back in the 90s. You know, they had to piecemeal their stuff out because they were going under.
I will say,
and look how long it took them to finally get everything back under house.
The one saving grace for them is they have been piecing out content to other streamers. So that is another what no, but that's the way to get money. Like Cape Crusaders, they license that to Amazon, but then they're debating taking Amazon to court to try to get the NBA package from them that they could have had but didn't sign. They had exclusive rights. So,
but see, here's the other thing is that yes, they're going to Amazon, they're going to Netflix, they're doing all this. They're also the movies are also showing up on Tubi and Pluto TV, which is free.
Well, they have to pay. They definitely get paid something for it.
Sure.
Yeah.
But like, I don't have to subscribe to that to watch them.
So, it's anarchy, Joe. It's designed it's short-term cash fixes, but you have to improve your company when you're doing that, so that you don't have to. Because you can't keep doing that. That's something that you can't repeat if you want to grow your company. So essentially, they backed out of the whole HBO Max experience, was it just called Max? What was it called before they came together with?
It was HBO Max.
HBO Max, yeah. So they should have doubled down on that. That was the strategy. Once you put that in motion, to pull the brakes on that, stop trying to go into other places and then license out your content to these streamers that own these other places that you're trying to get into. Correct. You sealed your fate. So ultimately, Joe, I'm just waiting for the day when this gets sold. I'm just hoping that the DCU is established by then. It has a good positive buzz, but honestly, Superman needs to do numbers. Like we talked about this in the GUA chat.
Yeah, yes.
It has to do better or as good as the Batman, because in my opinion.
If it doesn't, that's going to definitely pull a lot of the investors from continuing on. It's a matter if Gunn and Safran have a 10-year plan.
You got to think what's like on the shoulders of it. Like the Batman basically had talks about a trilogy. There was no like confirmed trilogy when he was working on that. There was talks. Well, you know what it is. You had the options of. There was no like we're going to hunt. They needed to see the first film and how it did before they greenlit a second one.
But I don't know if I had talked to you about this or if I had talked to Ron and Chuck on my other podcast about how you need to make a good first movie. Make a good first movie. And if you could leave crumbs in there for more later on, but if you can make a solid first movie, investors would come in to want you to make more.
That's part of why I'm worried about it, like compared to Iron Man, for example, because Iron Man just made a movie about Iron Man.
Yeah.
Whereas,
it wasn't in the beginning. They were not trying to make a universe.
no,
Iron Man came out, then Incredible Hulk came out, and it's like, hey, let's bring Tony Stark in here for this because we had the Avengers thing hints at the very end of it. We can just kind of throw this in there for fun. And then we had the second Iron Man movie, and they're like, we could do something here. The first two of this new series did good. We could build stuff here. And then they worked toward that. And that was the problem with DC Universe, with the DCU. They tried that with the first movie. They were forcing that in with Batman or with Man of Steel. And it didn't work.
Like Man of Steel was just Man of Steel, and then they forced after that to be like, we want to share universe.
Yeah, BVS is where they kind of
and then
shot the bucket. There.
Even that, like I'm excited for DCU. I'm just hoping that like the rug doesn't get pulled out from under us when we're hyped. And like I said, I do think it needs to be as good as the Batman. But like if you're coming into this and let's say hypothetically the Batman 2 does 800 million, I'll say like 100 million more than what the previous one did. Not a gigantic leap, but let's just say. And then Superman does 600 million, and then the next DCU project does 400 million, and then hypothetically the third Batman does $1 billion. Like if you're a new person coming in and buying DC Studios you might want somebody else different to run that. You might want the guy who has the 3 successful movies, even though it's just with Batman. But that's just sometimes there's irrational thinking when people come in and buy these products. So that's why I'm like, I want DCU to be going successful. Like I want Superman to make $700+ million and be like, okay, we're going strong.
There's a lot of good people behind Gunn who are seeing the vision and actually wanting to get back it, get behind him on it. It's the convincing the general audience to go see the movie. That's going to be the kicker. Because now, here's the thing. Like, Deadpool Wolverine, we talked about in the very beginning, because I'm going to go see it next week. That has been hyped out the ass for the last few years, if I'm being honest.
And nobody markets anything like Ryan Reynolds markets anything. They did a little 50-second podcast clip, and it was the funniest thing. Like, I can't remember anything DC has done marketing-wise that was anywhere close to just made me laugh in terms of like,
Well, yes, there's that, and you're right. The Reynolds and Jackman combination works because one, those two have been friends forever.
Mm-hmm.
2, Ryan Reynolds has been putting jokes about Wolverine in the movies since the beginning. But here's the thing, though. They are putting out, and this is more, I know when trailers come out, it's not the company, it's the outside company that makes trailers that then put them out. We just got a brand new trailer today for Deadpool Wolverine. We're a week away. We don't need another trailer.
No.
And this new trailer gave away a character that is going to be in there. I'm not saying who the character is. I don't want people to say who it is in the chat. That's not, we don't need to say that. We're not giving spoilers. Because, first off, you're a dick if you do. Second off, you're a week away. Why are you doing this? Like, why?
But that's what I'm saying. General audience.
But that's it.
But that's
we don't need the hype. For a movie like Deadpool Wolverine, the hype's already there. The problem is when you go back and you look at BVS, the hype was there. And what did they do? Oh, we're going to show a trailer with Doomsday.
And then you can can ascertain that Doomsday is going to be involved. They're going to team up for him.
Exactly. The movie is called Batman vs. Superman. Leave it. The very first trailer was Batman fighting Superman.
The second one was the same thing, and then and the second one was Doomsday, and then the third one they went back to the same thing.
Yeah,
where
and then they brought in Wonder Woman. It's like, okay, didn't need to. Very exciting, but you didn't need to. It's a Batman Superman movie.
I understand what Joe's saying because you don't need another appearance like for the final. I'm not saying
you don't need to give away the whole movie in the trailer.
I'm not saying you don't need a final trailer. But you don't have to make any original content with that final trailer. Make a mishmash of the 2 trailers you put in prior. You're just trying to sell the general audience people. You're only alienating the true hardcore fans when you do that. You put in these things, but you don't need to do that. They're not going to, you're just trying to hype the general audience. You're not trying to hype the person who got Wolverine pajamas. Like, they're already all in.
And that ultimately, that's what I'm saying. I'm worried that when we start getting trailers for Superman, the new Superman movie, it's gonna be too revealing, and that will hurt it.
I find the pictures alone already it's getting a bit
The
much.
pictures are I also am curious on how much the Justice League, if that's what we're calling them, Justice League International, probably, will be in the movie. I mean, they're there, they're established, we've seen the pictures, but how much will they actually be in the movie? It's maybe a 2-hour movie, right?
Yeah.
So
even give me 10 minutes of it, I'm fine. Like I hope it's not too much.
Yeah.
So what do we have here?
Real quick though, from Iggy, he threw this in here and we got to talking. We talked about this earlier, Iggy. Travis is gonna be talking about it on Animation Nation, and then next week, maybe if I've seen it by then, we'll talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, we'll have a little discussion. I'm interested to hear Joe's thoughts on this film.
Yeah, I might watch the full trilogy again. We'll see.
You do that.
I said we'll see.
So Solo talked about the Blue Beetle animated series. I watched this. Just not a lot of things here. Essentially, basically, kind of confirms that the original cast is going to be back. It's just a matter of dotting the T's and crossing the I's. So I'm excited for that, Joe. Obviously, that's going to be years away because it's
we got a minute.
Yeah, but again, I'm glad that they're doing that. So let's take our final ad break of the evening. Listeners for an ad support network. We will pick the ad to the volume. I'm going to give you a quick 3 count to adjust your volume, and we'll be right back in 3, 2, 1. And we're back.
So I guess this is different than what we had talked about?
That's basically what we talked about. They're suggesting him cut costs, but they didn't say projects for DCU and WB. So
is that what you were talking about, Iggy?
I think that's what he mentioned.
Basically, Zaslav's an idiot.
Essentially, but you can fail upwards in this world. Meg Donnelly talked a little bit better audition for Supergirl. It was something I had really fight for to get an audition because I wanted to be part of it and be Supergirl in any way. That's really cool. She said that she wants to work for James Gunn in DCU. She'll be any other character. So who knows? You might get to see her as someone else down the line.
I mean, she wouldn't be a terrible Batgirl.
The thing that I found interesting from most of what James Gunn said in these news things was Peacemaker Season 2 will release after Superman, and it follows its events.
Oh.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, so I don't know how that's going to work. Is Peacemaker going to show up at one of the end credit scenes for Superman, or will they just go right into Peacemaker?
I could see them showing clips of Superman like on the TV in Peacemaker.
Yeah.
I can see him doing that versus Peacemaker coming in. Ooh, that's a good one. Stargirl, Donna Troy. Good choice, Iggy. I could see her Stargirl.
I like Stargirl. Like Stargirl. That's a good one, Iggy. That's a good one. So I'm excited. I want to know how they're going to do that. But again, we will wait. We'll see. It's not going to be that far away. It's basically a year, and maybe I'd say September for Peacemaker season 2 of 2025.
Yeah,
that would be my guess.
If it's July,
if it's following,
if it's after, I'd say late August, maybe early September. Yeah.
So James Gunn talked about a few other things. He said all new animated projects are coming from DC Studios. He said all animated projects are DC Studios, but definitely not all are DCU. Which that makes me happy because
we can get some Elseworld stuff. Yeah.
Which again, Red Sun, it doesn't even have to be Elseworlds like The Dark Knight Returns. I'll take that any day of the week.
That's an Elseworld.
Well, I just meant like the 2-part story. You don't have it in just one. Like if you're going to do these big stories, do them.
I haven't watched it yet, Iggy. Stop it.
Yeah, you have to. Spoilers.
I knew it was coming. I saw some tweets out there. I haven't watched it though. Stop giving me spoilers.
And yeah, well, you'll hear about it soon enough from us. He also confirmed here that Paradise Lost is still in very active development, but isn't in production yet. So that's another one that is pre-Wonder Woman that I
forgot that thing was happening. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, that was basically, I think they talked a bit like somewhat like Game of Thrones, like
which got me like, ooh.
I'm like, yeah, I had no. not highest on my priority list right now, just from what they're talking about with it. James Gunn talked about whether he had an actor in mind for Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. He said, I have discussed with Chris and Tom and Damon, and they have a lot of great ideas. So I think he's going to be hands off on the picking of them.
Honestly, it's a good thing.
Yeah, same.
What it needs to, and I know you and I are both fans of Zack Snyder's universe. What it needs to be is whatever gets picked over there, because he didn't pick Gal.
Yeah.
Patty Jenkins did. He brought her in, right? Or he didn't pick Gal.
Reverse.
Oh, did it?
Reverse.
Okay,
Yeah.
my bad.
Yeah.
Did he pick the other ones?
Yeah, he picked them all. So it needs to be basically the. I like for it to be con. I can have Gunn introduce characters into Superman's world and stuff like that. Like we're getting Green Lantern, and we're getting Hawk Girl, and we're getting Mr. Terrific. I'm fine with that, but you can also have other. You can do it both ways. You can have some characters introduced like this, and you can have other ones, new ones showing up on their own with new projects as well.
Stop it.
Iggy, you're not listening. I don't want to put you in timeout.
No, he's fine.
I'm kidding, of course. Obviously, I wouldn't do that to Iggy. So now we're into the comic portion, Joe. DC Comics has announced a new book, Batman and Robin Year 1 by Mark Waid and Chris Sameen.
I mean, Mark Waid. Hell yeah.
So this is the little breakdown of it. In Batman Robin Year 1, while Bruce Wayne adjusts to the realities of adopting orphan Dick Grayson, a mysterious new crime boss called the General has come to Gotham to claim the city by disrupting and destroying its other mobs. But what is his connection to Two-Face? Batman and his new sidekick Robin are out for answers, but it'll take everything they have to navigate both sides of their relationship as father and son and dynamic duo, with Dick Grayson's present and future hanging in a balance.
If I remember correctly, because I believe this was shared in the comic chat I've got with Chris and Clay, this is a 12-issue mini, or maxi, and yeah, that's fun. That's awesome. I'm not 100% saying I'll read it right away.
I'll get to it. Well, I'll eventually read it, though. That's one of those ones that will go on the list of things that I definitely have to read.
Yes.
That list grows daily.
Because I love Batman and Robin, and especially Dick Grayson Robin. So and Mark Waid and even Chris Samnee, his art is awesome. So I'm in for it. But it might be a while before I get to it.
Now, here's the question. Are you in for this? Which is DC has revealed their first look at Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman from their new Absolute Universe as part of this October's All-In Comics initiative.
Yes. Yes. So here's my issue. I'm not current. I think the last DC comic I read was Dark Crisis, which was like 2 years ago. And that was kind of like, but so I'm not current, so I don't know exactly what's going on. I'm not reading this Absolute Power, but I was
going to ask you if did Bane become Batman?
I mean, look. So what
Batman is swole.
He is just a brick house.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I've said this before in the past. I love when you take the character and you either put a new person in the role, like Jean-Paul Vallée, or the fourth Superman when Superman died, or even Artemis as Wonder Woman. Like when you take the character out of their normal habitat, they go away and you bring somebody else in. I love that because I know, eventually they're going to come back. That's always how it is. What we had a few years back, a decade back, I can't exactly remember, when we got the DC Earth 1 books. Those were graphic novels, original graphic novels coming out. And it was a new version of the characters. I'm a huge fan of the Ultimate Universe over at Marvel. And Elseworlds here in DC. So when you have characters, still their characters, but they updated them for modern time, dude, I loved the Earth 1 books. Those were great. I was mad because they stopped. They had
And I
like
mean,
2 or 3 more projects, and they just like, nope, we're done.
if you like the Batman film, then you must have liked the Batman Earth One because
Yeah, that's great.
yeah.
So what I'm getting here, I'm getting a lot of Earth One vibes for this All In. The difference is that this guy right here, Darkseid, which had been already been established with the Multiversity, that there's only one Darkseid in all of the DC comics, and Darkseid is going to be playing a major part with this All In for the absolute Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman. That got away from me, and the regular DC universe. So, with that being said, I may skip some stuff and start reading this. Just saying.
I'm going to put a pin in that whole little point and revisit it in a week.
True. Yes.
So just remember that.
Just cut all that out and
that little dark side clip at the end. I'm gonna come back to that point in a week, and you're gonna be like, God damn. It's just
anyway.
So
whatever. I'm talking comics, not shows and movies and cartoons.
The other things about this, couple other notes. Even though there's an Aquaman book may not have been announced right now, Batman.
There is a list that was announced.
The Batman book will feature Aquaman, Jackson Hyde, and Miss Martian. And Dark Knight of Steel, All Winter has a backup story written by Tom Taylor about Atlantis.
Hold on, let me see if I can find, because this definitely was shared in the group chat. Here we go. So what the mainline books are going to be? You got Superman by Joshua Williamson and Dan Mora. Batman. Wait, that's the all-in mainline. Hold on. Oh, I could have swore they had an absolute with more than just the 3.
And while Joe is checking for that,
sorry, you continue. Sorry, I ruined your.
David Desmalchin is writing a Creatures Commando comic dropping in October.
Yeah, that's kind of fun.
That's super cool. I enjoyed the fact that Paul Dano, the Riddler, got to write a comic as well. So,
yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. When you get an actor to write a comic, 9 times out of 10, well, I'll say 7 times out of 10. Yeah, it's not great.
No,
but everyone's like, I'm still going to check it out. You know, you gotta at least you have to give the props
curiosity.
To exactly.
And issue 1 will definitely be a good seller just because of that.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And
David Desmalchin knows. I'm not gonna say he doesn't know his shit, but like he's a very knowledgeable character, like actor. Mm-hmm. Like he. I'm not gonna say he goes all in, but he knows a lot of stuff. So I'm really excited to see what he does.
Perhaps next week, myself and Joe can also discuss a couple episodes, or what we thought of a couple episodes of Kite Man. Hell yeah!
Episode 3 should be out by then.
Yeah.
I will. Let me just say this.
You've watched the first 2?
No. Okay. My girlfriend watched the first episode, and her response was, "It's not Harley Quinn."
Okay.
She watched the first episode and she's like, I'm good.
Let's see if we'll have the same opinion, because I did see the most recent trailer. I saw a hell of a lot of Bane, and you and I have
we love Bane.
We have the biggest soft spots for Bane of anyone, so that might win us over. But I will check out the 3 episodes.
I'll say she's more general audience when it comes to stuff like that. She loves the Harley Quinn show, but I think it's more for the writing on that, and because she knows the characters, but the writing on that is just perfect. And so her coming over to watch Kite Man, because it's connected to the Harley Quinn universe, it just didn't do it for her.
And you got to think too, though, it's not the same people, and I know the same people aren't in charge of Harley Quinn anymore, like show running it. But those people that are show running it now learn directly under the people that started from it. Whereas these people for Kite Man are completely new to the game. Like they're not. So again, I'm really curious how that's going to be. I'm going to definitely watch that before our episode on Thursday.
Yes.
That's something I'm really curious about. So, yeah, that's out now on HBO Max. So stream it now. I don't know why it's going to be on a panel at SDCC, but I think they might have a newer
Because they need
episode.
content.
Yeah, they'll always, you're not wrong there, Joe.
Yeah.
So that wraps up our news. We just have one little thing to talk about now. It's our Smallville retro recaps. They're back.
Oh, you forgot about the 4 things on Netflix or Nickelodeon.
Oh, that's there too. That's directly under.
So I found this on.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
I found this on Twitter. Sent it to you. It was coming from the DC Questions / Cartoon Network Worldwide and Game On page. And what it is, it's 4 more DC series animated lineup confirmed at Nickelodeon. Now, I couldn't find any more information on this. This is coming from a page that I don't follow. It just showed up in my feed. You said you couldn't find anything. But what it has here is Justice League Infinity in the summer of 25, Justice Multiverse late 25, Legion of Superheroes Unlimited in late 25, and then a Nightwing show in sometime in 26. So what I'm taking from this is the Justice League Infinity is a continuation from Justice League Unlimited, and the Legion of Superheroes Unlimited is continued from Legion of Superheroes, which were both really good shows. I enjoyed both of those.
Yep.
Again, I don't know how true this is. I'm going to throw this under the rumor account right now.
We've talked about some rumors that the next day Gunn's like, yeah, that's not true. So it happens here. This is really interesting.
And I also think this will get this probably more information next week on this.
The fact that they're bringing in Nickelodeon in this is what makes me think this is definitely viable. My only hesitation is with Justice League Infinity because of the Kevin Conroy being gone. Every other one here looks definitely believable, especially Justice Multiverse. So
yeah, but I also saw. So here's the other thing, though. I saw in the solicits for DC Comics, they had a Justice League multiverse thing, but it was with other Cartoon Network properties, or was it that? Or maybe like
Scooby Doo and stuff.
Something. Yeah. So maybe it's something like that. Which, if that again, it's maybe not Scooby Doo because that's technically Warner Brothers and that's a different thing. But it could be like SpongeBob or what's some of the other Jimmy Neutron or something, like whatever else Nickelodeon has.
Oh, Jimmy Neutron. There's the show. That's a pull, Joe. That's a pull.
Yeah.
It's been a while. But no, again, whereas with Nickelodeon, it does have my curiosity.
Just imagine those guys up with the Penguins of Madagascar.
So our final thing tonight is Smallville retro recaps are back. Hopefully, like I said, we get some more confirmations for animated series in.
Yeah, and we're talking about Iggy, huh?
So, Smallville season 5, episode 1, Arrival. Joe, do you remember watching this back in the day? What do you think of this now?
That is a big. I watched it back in the day. I know I watched it. I don't remember it. Because we had talked about it before, about you had mentioned when Chloe finally revealed to Clark that she knew his secret, and they did a good job on that. I thought they did a wonderful job on that. I also was going to find it funny because she is in the Yukon, I guess, and it's one of those things where pretty sure they might have free healthcare because she probably only pay like $15 for a copay versus if Clark could actually take her back to Smallville and she would have to pay thousands of dollars for having a room there. So anyway, what? I don't know if they have. Yeah. I don't know. I'm making the joke that America healthcare sucks.
You are right though, because Yukon is a territory in Canada, so she would have had healthcare there. So yeah.
But no, the episodes. I also distinctively remember one thing. I do remember is them finding Jason's body in the wreckage.
Yeah.
But they don't.
No, I know. I think they took that out. I do remember the same thing, Joe. I don't remember
Unless
seeing the body. I remember seeing like just like the red jacket he had like under a table
unless it's
or
in the
on it.
next episode, which is highly possible. But usually
It's
the next episode jumps like 3 months because
maybe it's a Mandela effect and it never happened. We both think it did.
I mean, look, it's possible. But other than that, like I was definitely mad at Lana for being okay with Lex stopping her. Like, dude, she just
That went
literally
on a little too long too.
Well, not only that, but like the last time she saw Lex, he was getting angry at her for giving the stone away, and you're just gonna be fine now because you had you crashed and saw the spaceship. Come on.
And that was this was one of the weaker season premieres for me. Like there's especially like what in the blue hell, what reason is there for those two Kryptonians to turn away from Clark and look into the goddamn corner of the room? Like, could somebody come in with a green rock? They just looked at the vault. They looked at the vault. They didn't
why they look at the vault? Like,
they didn't go in there. Like, it's got kryptonite. You're not going in there. You got hurt. You just realized it. Like, it made no sense. That was like, how does this get in there? That was like, have somebody sing out something to him, get him to look or something. No, Clark just goes back, reach him. God.
Also, like, he was supposed to get back to the fortress by sunset. Is that sunset in Smallville? Sunset at the North Pole? Like, pretty sure those two different sunsets.
Yeah. Like, give it actual time.
Pretty sure the sunset at the North Pole happened hours before the sunset at Smallville.
You're advanced you were part of the advanced alien civilization, Jarrell. You tell me you couldn't put in, like, get to the fortress before 7 p.m. Eastern time?
Right, exactly.
Like, or, okay, you're from Kansas, Clark. You got a watch on because you walk around with a watch on all the time. So, yeah, I'll tell you 8 p.m. Central. Make it here by then.
Make it happen.
What a terrible curfew. Terrible.
Like this episode, it definitely, while it wraps up and obviously sets up the season, not a great episode. I do remember James Masters there at the end.
Yeah.
When he drips from the ship. But like, other than that, like we had talked about it, a while back. I didn't remember when Chloe revealed to Clark and this episode happened. I also was like kind of thinking, all right, like how is Chloe gonna get back? And on top of that, like how the hell did Lex know she was there? Like, does this man just happen to have tabs on every single hospital in the world? Like, what's terrible?
This gets better. I do know that this season. Like, we have Aquaman shows up. Alan Richardson, he shows up, I think, in like episode 4 or 5.
Oh, nice.
We have the Lexmas episode that I always enjoyed. Arguably the highest rated episode of the entire series is in this season as well.
I also want to say that this is 2005, and whatever budget, I understand that they only have a limited budget for the whole season, and majority of it happens in the season premiere and the season finale, and maybe 1 or 2 episodes throughout the rest of the season. But the CGI on the fortress getting built was terrible.
The Brainiac thing, awesome.
That was pretty cool.
So, I mean, like I said, like Joe said, it is back in the day, but still.
I mean, 2005, we had just gotten, what did we just get in 2005? I think Batman Begins.
Which I don't think it was very heavy on the CGI.
It wasn't. But there was CGI there.
I think Cyborg shows up in this season, too.
I'm sure we also probably get Flash or Impulse back again.
Nope. He doesn't come back until season 6.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah. But again, I think it's 2 new entries. I think Martian Manhunter's in season 6, or might be at the end of season 5. 1 to 2. Again, we build up to the Justice League episodes in season 6.
Okay.
So I can't wait for the big episode in this season where Jonathan Kent goes. So that's a really good. That's a really good episode. So and I love how John Snyder was pissed off about that. Like,
well, good. He's not really. He's a
no, and you don't realize the character there, dude. Watch
Read
the
the
movie, there,
comics.
guy.
He's
Watch
the one that always dies.
Watch the movie, guy. Watch the movie. That everybody watched. But
I did get a chuckle when him and Lois, Erica Durant, were trying to dig out Martha, and he grabs the giant china cabinet, and then he like tries to go to throw it back, but I think he like shifted his weight wrong, and like he fell back.
Yeah,
I got a chuckle on that.
I did.
I shouldn't have, but I did.
The same thing as the choke slams that both of them got from the Kryptonians. Like, yeah, run up on them, guys. Like, you don't know what Clark is like. Like, come on.
Well, yeah, but he's also in the middle of a hospital, and he can't
I
really like
don't know.
give it away.
So I'll be excited to talk to you. I think next week is him being without powers, like build the barn and shit, like some stupid shit like that. And then the episode after that is where he gets some. This is a good season. This was a big season for them. So
this is just a bad start.
Talkville was good. It was Rosenbaum and Welling together in the studio. So
nice.
That was a good time. So okay, listeners, that wraps up the episode. Joe, I'll see you back here Thursday night. Anytime between 7 and 8 p.m. Eastern time, listeners, you'll see this tweet and it'll be up there on YouTube. Until then, see you, everyone.
Thanks for coming on. I'll understand the line more when we watch Kite Man.
Awesome. Later, everyone.